Hello friends, hello sisters, happy afternoon. This is Allie here, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about women's circles, red tents, and sacred sisterhood. So as many of you know, I'm an organizer for Red Tent Indy. It's a women's circles group in Indianapolis, Indiana. And I just wanted to share a little bit about what women's circles are. So maybe you have attended some women's circles before, maybe you've even come to Red Tent Indy events or other ceremonies and circles that are going on in your community. Or maybe you've heard this term and you don't know what it is and you want to know more about it. So today I'm just sharing a little bit about this message and what it is so I can explain it to all of you and hopefully that maybe you'll feel called to partake in it as well. So with these sisterhood circles that are modern day, this actually originates back into agricultural times, tribal communities. So there were tents that women would go into. They'd be called menstrual huts, or we call it red tents nowadays. And this was a sacred space for women to go to just decompress, to bleed during their monthly time. They would go there and just rest and restore. And it was also a place to celebrate rites of passages. So what I mean by rites of passage is these different periods of our cycles of life for womanhood. So, you know, when women first start their menses, when they become pregnant and they're giving birth, women would even give birth in these menstrual huts, as well as when women started to go through menopause or menopause. And all of these rites of passages were celebrated. The whole entire cycles of the feminine life was honored and celebrated and looked at upon as a gift, because every stage of feminine womanhood, there is wisdom there is growth, there is amazing, beautiful energy to be expressed, and this was truly honored. There was time, there was rest, and that's something that's a little bit lost in our modern day Western culture. You know, we live in a very fast-paced society that's very focused on productivity and consumerism and how much can you get done in one single day. And so there's not always time to rest and to nurture ourselves and to explore this like sensual feminine feeling that we have inside, you know, that the feminine is rising in our time right now, and women are starting to want to reclaim that time for pause and that time for rest and the time to gather. In these tribal communities, when they gathered in these huts together, they would share their ancient lineage. They would pass down wise women ways, you know, herbalism, tips, you know, for going through menopause, or herbs that could help with childbirth, maybe recipes. They would massage each other, drink wine, eat dates, you know, just celebrate life together as being a woman and really come together and support each other. So I want to just describe a little bit about just how men and women are wired in times. So back then, like, the men would be out hunting and the women would be at the camp, and they would be picking berries and weaving baskets, and they would be all together because they were taking care of the babies. And so if a man, you know, was hunting and they needed to be quiet, maybe isolated, and if a lion, you know, suddenly crept out, they would need to run. They would need to the fight or flight. And for women, we have more of this coming together, tend and befriend. Like, if there's stress in life, you may notice that you start to go to your sisters and tell everybody, like, I need help. Can you hear my problems? What should I do? Women tend to come together, and we did this in tribal times because if a lion came to our community, we couldn't run away because we needed to take care of the babies. So if we fled the community, then the babies would be left behind. So with sisterhood, it's this natural women coming together and taking care of each other, passing down their ancient lineage and their stories, and just empowering each other through that experience. So what's going on in modern days is this rising of the feminine, where women are wanting to come together and create this nurturing, safe space that they connect with each other and listen to each other's stories, learn from each other, and this is where we truly heal. And so it's interesting, now that these women's circles have been going on for much longer, You know, this is something more common people are knowing about, but for the men, I hear a lot lately, the men are like, well, why do the women go into these circles and leave the men behind? And we are not leaving our brothers behind. That's not the thing, is to divide our community. It's to come together because we understand each other, and when women come together, at that point we're able to put less pressure on our partners. You know, we can't demand that our partners serve all of our emotional needs, all of our needs. You know, sometimes we need additional support. So when women come together and they unite and they empower each other, we become stronger to serve others in our community. And then finally, I just wanted to know about the sisterhood that is forming even closer, is because back in these tribal communities when women came together, nowadays in this divided society, there is this underlying feeling of competition to exist in this productive, fast-paced society. Yet, at the end of the day, we are all in this together. We're all here to serve and support each other and make this world a better place. So when women come together and release their feelings of jealousy and competition and, you know, the wounds from childhood and the wounds of the feminine and the masculine, where, you know, when they were younger, maybe in high school, a sister stole her best friend's boyfriend or something like that. Or, you know, it's coming together and leaving that at the door and really supporting each other from a deeper place of, I got you, you're my sister, I love you, we're all in this together. So it's really just healing that jealousy and that divide and coming together and honoring each other's unique gifts, because we all have something beautiful to bring to this world. So what you might find at a women's circle, or even if you come to one of our Red Tent events with Red Tent Indie, is you may find music, chanting, drumming, singing, maybe a delicious vegetarian potluck, maybe some information on herbalism, or we'll do a meditation. We'll have, you know, a teacher in our community come and share her wise women with the tribe. And so, yeah, if you've never been to a women's circle, I highly recommend to check one out. You know, if you don't live in Indianapolis, I'm sure there's going something on in your local community. And if there's not, then maybe you can start one, because it doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be grand. It's just, you know, calling women together to celebrate and to support each other, and adding a theme if you'd like, you know, adding food, adding music. You know, you can decorate your room like a red tent, cover the walls with red tapestries and red bed sheets, add candles, and, you know, bring cacao into it, eat some cacao nibs, create a little cacao ceremony, however you feel that it's right for you, and it may be different every time. But I just wanted to share a little bit about this sacred wisdom through these modern methods, because it's very dear to my heart, and sending love to all of you, and hope you have a wonderful day. Take care.